Re-evaluating this year because we're coming to the end of it, and I want to say that I had the worst beginning of this year of my entire life. I already struggle with the month of March because by March we've already had more or less 6 months of winter, and I'm so over it, and it is literally the longest month. No shade on March, by the way, people, if your birthday's then, it's not me hating on you, it's just that is such a long month, and I know that we've probably got another 2 more months of shit weather. So picture this, I have had the busiest start to my year in terms of my work, my clients back to back, and I'm thriving. Which in the whole time that I started working from home was, that was the first time that had happened. By the way, somebody mentioned that my foundation was yellow. It is not. These lights make it look yellow, and when it's all blended in, it's fine. Cherry pie. So you get the picture. It is March 2024, and quick backstory, in September 2023, I had terrible hip pain. I had to have an MRI, had it late February, and I was called in to see the GP early March. Now this bit I am breaking down. I was in the middle of doing a client a facial. She'd come all the way from Thailand, and this was an extra special treat. Whenever I do a client, I do not answer any phones, although my phone is next to me and I can see it ringing, and it's the surgery. I ignored it 3 times, and then I asked her permission if I could answer it. She very kindly said yes, and they insisted that I come and see them, and I was rather distracted with my clients, to be fair, because I immerse myself in my work and I become laser focused on what I'm doing at that time. So I arranged to go in within 45 minutes of this phone call, and the client by then would have been finished and gone. This is a new surgery, for the record, and I joined it during lockdown because literally it was 2 doors from my flat, and I have never been in it apart from phone calls and prescription medicines. I had never physically been in there or physically seen a doctor. I was really inconvenienced by this because I had another client probably 15 or 20 minutes after this doctor's rendezvous. I had another client, so I was just focused on jumping in there and jumping back to my client. You see where I am going with this. I say that a lot. This is Zoeva's Pout Perfect in either Borbala or Vanessa. I will only know when I put it on. Vanessa. What a lovely pencil. Anyway, I go in. The doctor is a lovely, very pretty, fresh-faced GP, and she's sitting down and she's looking, and I'm literally just like 1 foot in my work, thinking about rushing back here to do the client, and 1 foot there, and I'm like, get to the point, get to the point. I mean, I've never more been about getting to the point. And she asks me about how I felt what was going on with my hip, my hip bone that I had to have the MRI for, and how I felt was, how I felt my experience with it was, she was being really weird. So I spoke really fast, and I was like, yes, this, get to the point, get to the point. And then she just paused, and it was horrendous. I'm trying to detail this picture for you so that you can possibly imagine. I don't ever want you to be in this position, but you could possibly imagine somebody that's never been ill to be told, I'm afraid it's not good news. Those are the words she used. And I thought, what? And then she told me I had cancer. I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience, and I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. I just heard some ringing in my ears, and I just became hyper focused and wanted facts. She was quite emotional. She was quite emotional. She welled up, and I just wanted her to hurry up and get to the point because I just needed to get back to my client. I was really persistent on it. Yes, okay, yes, right, okay. What cancer? So she told me I had myeloma, which is bone cancer, and it was not good. And if you have bone cancer, that is secondary to primary cancer, which is somewhere else in your body, and they have to investigate urgently. Sorry, I was an emergency case. And find out where the primary cancer was. And I'm ashamed to say she asked me to do a urine sample. I went to the toilet and I was shaking so much that I peed over most of my fingers, and it was I've never shared that with anybody, but I wanted to kind of add another layer to this story of reality, because why not? I came back to the room, and she was saying lots of words that I didn't understand or hear, and I was writing things and she was writing things, and she said to me, and I actually said to her, because of the sort of person that I am, I'm so sorry that you've had to draw the short straw to deliver this news to me today. And she said, are you all right? And I was like, yeah. And she said, do you want to come back again and ask me any other questions? I said, I'll probably need to come in tomorrow with my mum. And we made an appointment for the next day. Now, lots more had gone on in this meeting. And as I was leaving, because I don't know, it kind of taught me who I was as a person, because as I was leaving her office, I just said to her, what are the chances that this isn't cancer? And she looked at me kind of almost with pity, and as if I was mad. And the words she used was highly unlikely. And I said to her, but you haven't said no. And that's what I'm taking away from this. She looked at me as if I was crazy. Guess what? 6 weeks later, they told me I did not have cancer. That was the most horrifying and horrendous experience, and 6 weeks of my life and my family's life. We all connected. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know how to say it. We drew in and just stayed together and stayed close and prayed and, you know, reached out to friends and family and my community, and everybody prayed for me in the most special and powerful way. So I wanted to share that story. I was umming and ahhing about sharing it, but I wanted to share it because it's really important to trust your gut and your instincts and question everything. I'm not saying, obviously, in the presence of real evidence, you're not going to question that. But until I had real evidence and facts, I wanted to stay focused and practical. I didn't let myself curl into a ball and cried myself at night sometimes. But I continued working, I continued posting, because routine was really key for me, and it really kept me sane, kept my sanity. I reached out to everybody and my friends. I'm naturally a very private person, but I shared my story. I've shared it on here, and I wanted to share it again. I've got lots of new followers, so thank you everybody for listening to my facts and chats. And that story in particular was really important to me because it came at a time where, I don't know, I was just starting a university degree. I continued that. I was given my news, and then 1 week later of cancer, and 1 week later I started a degree up in the north of England, and it was just wild. Like, this year has been insane. But one thing I have learned is the value of family. Not that I didn't know that before, but my good God, we really connected and we got really, really close over it, and my friendships, and it really teaches you who you people are. And luckily, nobody let me down. So thank you to everybody. And wow, what a year it's been for me, and it's ending on a high.